So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of resale and new construction. So I recently met with a gentleman and he was asking me to go over the pros and cons. And I thought, this would make for a great video. So let's jump into it. New, you get to customize colors inside and out. Depending on whether you find something that hasn't had a permit pulled, you might even be able to design some of the rooms. And depending, of course, on your price point, if the higher the price you go, the more choices you have in the design. The cons is it can take anywhere from 8 months to a year and a half to build, depending on where you're looking. The pros is you get warranties. You get 1 year bumper to bumper normally, 2-year mechanical and 10-year structure. Also, when it comes to inspection, the builder will usually do all the stuff on the inspection report. The cons is you can see some pretty long delays. You can see some pretty expensive pricing on upgrades. One of the cons is you don't know who your neighbor's going to be. If you're in a new construction area, all of it has yet to be determined. And so you don't know who is going to buy the homes next to you, right? And also the pro is sometimes you can pick a lot depending on who the builder is and of course your price point. The cons is you might be further away in the city than you were hoping to be. El Paso was started close to downtown and it grew as time went on, right? So where is available land? Well, it's going to be further out. So, and then of course, the other con is that you might have to use the builder's lender if you want the help with closing costs. The builder has their loans, their construction loans with certain banks, and they cut these deals with them and say, okay, well, as long as you bring us a certain amount of buyers to do loans for, we'll give you these construction loans. So the help with closing costs is not required, but it's there if you're willing to go with the builder's preferred lender. So resales, pros and cons. Well, the pro is you're in an established neighborhood. You don't have to worry about crazy stuff happening or the war zone, as I call it, with new construction and nails and stuff on the streets and a lot of noise and a lot of banging. The pro to going resale also is, that you're going to be in an area where the values tend to be a little bit more stable, right? We don't know in new construction how a neighborhood's going to go generally depending on the neighborhood. So we don't know if the values are going to stay good or, stay solid or stable. And then the con is, if you're a buyer and you're looking in a resale area, like today's market, April 2021, you'll probably be competing with another buyer, or many other buyers. The pros is also, depending on how old the house is, generally any major settlement has happened by the time it's about 5 years in or older. And of course, depending on the neighborhood, because I know that there's some homes down by closer to the Rio Grande where there's a lot of clay in the soil. And so you see a lot of shifting in those foundations. But if you're outside of that, if you're in other neighborhoods, usually you will not see as much of cracking and stucco or a lot of more settlement, because all that usually happens within the first 5 to 8 years is what I've been told. Okay. The pros is also, you can also, get in a normal market, you can usually pay a regular price, right? Or maybe even negotiate the price and closing costs in a normal market, which we know this is not. The good thing about new construction is usually the price that the builder has on there is the price that you pay, right? And then the pro is you get mature landscaping. You tend to have more trees and bushes and that sort of thing. And then also the pro is that you don't have to worry about sandstorms, right? Because new construction is usually further out, closer to the desert. So when the wind kicks up, you get a lot of sand in new construction. With resales, you don't see that as much. So that's just, and then the other thing is you can close sooner. You can lock your rate. With new construction, you cannot lock your rate until you're at least 30 or 45 days out from completion. And with resales, you can. Now with resales, you have to keep in mind that repairs are not required by the seller or the buyer. They are negotiable, just like closing costs are. So there's a short list of the pros and cons. If you have any questions about resale versus new construction, feel free to give me a call and I'll be more than happy to help you. Thanks. Bye. Little reminder that my business is based on referrals. Without wonderful people such as yourself, I could not keep my business running. So if you happen to know of anybody, friend, family, coworker, neighbor that is interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate, I would love to give them the best level of personal care. Thanks so much. Feel free to reach out, text, email, or call me. Thanks. Bye-bye.